So before we move into that, I've also included the enzymes. One of my slides has the enzymes that are involved in the digestive system. We have the salivary amylase, which is found in the mouth, that helps to break down starch. We have pepsin enzyme. Pepsin, it changes proteins into amino acids. It happens in the stomach. We have trypsin, produced in the pancreas, breaks down proteins, and in the pancreatic lipase, that breaks down the fats. So, and then I've also included a diagram of the alimentary canal, the GI tract, and the organs involved, the accessory organs, the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. And then we move on. So the 6 phases of digestion, we have the ingestion, which is a process of eating. We ingest food every day, so our bodies have enough energy to function. And the movement is, you know, the food that we eat doesn't just stay in the mouth. It then starts moving down the esophagus and makes its way to the stomach and into the small intestine, and also into the small intestine, then into the large intestine, and then it is evacuated via the anus. And then our next one is mechanical and chemical digestion. Like we've mentioned before, this is the process of breaking down the food and making it ready for absorption. And absorption is where the body absorbs carbohydrates, proteins, fats into the bloodstream, so the body can then use them for energy, growth, repair. And it brings us to our last phase, which is elimination. This is where the unwanted and unused material is discarded via the anus. And the structures involved in the alimentary canal, which is the mouth, the teeth mechanically break the food into smaller pieces, while the tongue mixes the food with saliva, which moistens the food, which contains amylase, which helps to break down starch, a form of carbohydrate. And then we have the esophagus. When the food is being swallowed, so the esophagus is a vascular tube that secretes mucus, carries the food from the mouth to the stomach after swallowing via a process called peristalsis. This is a ring of muscle. Sorry, I have to move my slide there a bit. Which is a ring of muscle that relaxes to let the stomach, to let the food into the stomach, and contracts to prevent the stomach contents from escaping the esophagus, from escaping back to the esophagus, which is when we feel like we have a heartburn or something, you know. And then into the stomach. The stomach all produces gastric juices, which is hydrofolic acid and enzymes that digest proteins and lipids. The stomach acts like a concrete mixture, mixing and churning food with gastric juices to form chyme. And chyme is a soup, it's a soup liquid found in the stomach. And the acid from the hydrochloric acid in the stomach also kills bacteria. So we move on to the small intestine. The small intestine, the bile from the gallbladder and the enzymes and the digestive juices from the pancreas empty into the upper section of the small intestine and helps to break down protein into amino acids and fat into fatty acids. The smaller particles, along with sugar, vitamins and minerals, are then absorbed into the bloodstream through projections that are called villi. Villi are located in the walls of the small intestine. These villi increase the surface area of the small intestine, making it more effective at absorbing the villi. And the villi look like little fingers. It is called a small intestine because it is about 3.5 centimeters in diameter and it is about 5 meters long, and it provides a loads of area for absorption. And most of the chemical digestion for fats, carbohydrates and proteins, it is actually completed in the small intestine. In the large intestine now, large intestine lining absorbs water, salt, minerals and vitamins. Undigested fiber is then mixed with mucus and bacteria, which then breaks down, which then nourishes the cells of the large intestine, keeping them happy, I should say. So the feces are then formed in the last part of the large intestine, in the rectum, before being passed out of the body through the anus. The liver, the gallbladder, the gallbladder and the pancreas are the organs that play a different role. Well, they're the ones that help the alimentary canal so the digestive system can be effective. So the liver is responsible for producing bile, and it stores it, and the gallbladder is responsible for storing the produced bile from the liver, and the pancreas, which is responsible for the production of enzymes that are used to break down the fats, the proteins, and the carbohydrates. So now we're moving on to the balanced diet. Food is one of our basic needs. We all eat food. We eat food to live, and we eat and drink, and food is our balanced diet is shaped by our culture, our environment, our health needs, our exercises, or whatever we do. So we eat to gain food, to work, and whatnot. So we have food groups. We have the first food group, which is the dairy food, where we get milk, cheese, yogurt, and other alternatives like soya milk, and they give us vitamins, calcium, potassium, and we prevent diseases like osteoporosis, and we have good bones when we drink milk and all that. And our group 2 is the vegetable group, the colorful group, which has carrots, cauliflower, spinach, tomatoes. I like calling it the colorful group. And then it contains vitamins, dietary, folic acids, amino acids, and vitamins, and it maintains a good blood pressure, prevents us from constipation. Our third group is, are we familiar with the third group? Is this the third group? No. Our third group is the tasty group, where we have the fruit group, where we get pineapples, oranges, apples and oranges, and bananas. They provide us with potassium, dietary fiber, vitamin, and folic acids, maintaining a healthy blood pressure, providing carbohydrates like sugar and fiber, and a good source of water as well. So different fruits contain different vitamins. Our fourth group is a grain group, where we get most carbohydrates from: bread, potatoes, cereals, rice, and pasta. We usually have this main meal or lunch or dinner time. It reduces the risk of chronic diseases or diabetes, type 2, and obesity. Too much will result in weight gain, obesity. And our fifth group is the protein group, which includes meat, fish, calcium, pork, eggs, and beans, and nuts, and they provide us with nutrients and like proteins, vitamin B, vitamin E, zinc, and magnesium. Helps to maintain weight loss, good for burns, produces appetite, increases fat burning, and boosts metabolism. And men are recommended to have about 56 grams a day, and women 46 grams a day. Thank you for watching my video.